When life hurts, it feels like the world has stopped making sense. Everything you planned, everything you trusted, everything you believed in, suddenly feels heavy on your chest. There are moments when you wake up and you don't feel strong anymore. You don't feel motivated. You don't even feel like yourself. And in those moments, it becomes easy to believe that pain is the end of your story. But it is not. Pain is a part of life, not a punishment. And this is one of the most difficult truths for a human heart to accept when it is suffering. When life becomes heavy, when things fall apart without warning, when plans collapse and people change, the first thought that enters the mind is often, why is this happening to me? It feels personal. It feels targeted. It feels unfair. But the deeper truth is that pain is not designed to single you out for suffering. Pain is a universal language of life, something every human being, regardless of background, success, age, or strength, must learn to understand. No one is exempt from pain. Not the wealthy, not the powerful, not the talented, and not even those who seem to have everything figured out. Pain does not ask for permission. It arrives quietly sometimes, and other times it crashes into life like a storm. But its presence does not mean you are being punished. It means you are alive, and being alive means experiencing both comfort and discomfort, success and failure, joy and heartbreak. Life is not designed to be a straight road of happiness. It is designed to be a journey of experience, and pain is one of its most powerful teachers. When you begin to see pain as punishment, you start to develop resentment toward life itself. You begin to believe that something is wrong with you, that you are unlucky, or that you are being treated differently from others. This mindset slowly weakens your spirit. It makes you feel like a victim of circumstances instead of a participant in growth. But when you change your perspective and begin to see pain as a part of the natural process of living, everything starts to shift. You begin to ask different questions. Instead of asking, why me? You start asking, what can I learn from this? And that single shift can transform your entire life. Think about physical strength. No one becomes physically strong without resistance. Muscles do not grow in comfort. They grow under pressure. The body must experience strain, effort, and challenge in order to become stronger. In the same way, emotional and mental strength also requires resistance. Pain is that resistance. It challenges your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your identity. It forces you to confront parts of yourself that comfort would never reveal. If life were always easy, you would never discover your inner resilience. You would never know how strong your heart truly is. You would never learn how much you can endure, adapt, and survive. Pain, in its own quiet and sometimes harsh way, reveals your hidden strength. It shows you that you are capable of surviving days you once thought would destroy you. It proves to you that you can carry burdens you never thought you could lift. One of the greatest misunderstandings about life is that good people should not suffer, or that hard times only come to those who have done something wrong. But reality does not follow this belief. Good people face pain. Kind people face betrayal. Hard-working people face failure. Honest people face loss. Not because life is unfair in a cruel sense, but because life is complex. Every person, regardless of their actions, goes through seasons of growth, and growth often comes through discomfort. When you start to accept that pain is not punishment, you stop fighting reality and start learning from it. Instead of wasting energy asking why something is happening, you begin using that energy to understand what it is teaching you. Some pain teaches patience. Some pain teaches self-respect. Some pain teaches independence. Some pain teaches you the importance of boundaries. And some pain teaches you the value of starting over. Each form of pain carries a message, but you can only hear it when you stop resisting it. It is also important to understand that pain is not permanent, even though it feels like it is in the moment. When you are inside suffering, time feels slow. Emotions feel heavy. Thoughts feel endless. But nothing in life stays the same forever. Every storm eventually passes. Every night eventually turns into morning. Every painful chapter eventually becomes a memory. What remains is not the pain itself, but what the pain shaped within you. If you look back at your life, you will notice that some of your strongest versions were born from your most difficult moments. The times you thought you would not recover became the times that built your resilience. The experiences you once wished to erase became the experiences that taught you how to stand stronger. Pain has a strange way of turning into wisdom, but only when you allow it to do so. So when life hurts, instead of believing it is breaking you, try to understand that it is shaping you. Instead of seeing it as punishment, see it as preparation. Because what feels unbearable today may one day become the very reason you are able to guide someone else through their pain. Your suffering is not meaningless. It is part of a larger process of becoming someone who is stronger, wiser, and more aware than before. Struggles build inner strength and character, and this is one of the most powerful truths about human life that is often only understood in hindsight. When people are going through comfort, success, and ease, they rarely think about strength. Life feels smooth, decisions feel simple, and confidence often comes from circumstances rather than from within. But the real test of a person's character does not appear in comfort. It appears in struggle. It appears in moments when nothing is certain, when nothing is easy, and when continuing forward feels heavier than standing still. Struggles are not random interruptions in life. They are shaping forces. They press against you, challenge you, and push you beyond the limits you believed you had. And in that pressure, something begins to change inside you. You start discovering strength that was never visible before. You begin to realize that you can tolerate more, endure more, and survive more than you ever thought possible. Strength is not something you are born with fully developed. It is something that is built slowly through experience, especially through difficulty. When a person faces struggle, the first reaction is often resistance. The mind tries to escape, avoid, or deny the situation. It feels uncomfortable because struggle disrupts control. It removes certainty and replaces it with questions. But it is exactly in this uncomfortable space that growth begins. Character is not formed when everything is going well. Character is formed when things are falling apart and a person still chooses to act with patience, dignity, and resilience. Think about the moments in life when you felt tested the most. It was not in your easiest days. It was in your hardest days. It was when plans failed, when expectations were broken, when people disappointed you, or when circumstances forced you into situations you did not choose. In those moments, you had two choices. You could collapse under pressure, or you could rise through it. Every time you chose to keep going, even when it was painful, you were building something inside yourself that cannot be seen, but can always be felt. That something is inner strength. Inner strength is different from external strength. External strength is visible. It is about status, resources, and physical capability. But inner strength is quiet. It is about emotional stability, mental endurance, and the ability to remain steady when everything around you is unstable. Struggles are the only environment where this kind of strength is developed. Without struggle, inner strength remains untested and incomplete. Character is also revealed through struggle. It shows who you are when no one is watching, when there is no applause, no recognition, and no guarantee of success. In difficult moments, your true values come forward. Do you stay honest when dishonesty seems easier? Do you remain patient when frustration feels natural? Do you stay kind when bitterness would feel justified? These decisions, made under pressure, define your character far more than any success ever could. Many people believe that struggle is something to be avoided at all costs. But struggle has a deeper purpose. It refines you. It removes weakness that comfort hides. It exposes fears you did not know you had and forces you to confront them. It teaches discipline when motivation is gone. It teaches patience when results are delayed. It teaches humility when pride tries to take over. Each struggle adds a layer of maturity that cannot be learned through comfort or ease. There is also something powerful about how struggle changes perspective. Before struggle, many people take simple things for granted. Peace feels ordinary. Stability feels permanent. Relationships feel effortless. But after going through difficulty, appreciation increases. You begin to value small moments of peace. You begin to respect emotional balance. You begin to understand the importance of mental strength. Struggle sharpens awareness and deepens gratitude in ways that comfort never can. It is also important to understand that struggle does not just build strength for the present moment. It builds strength for the future. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence that you can survive future challenges. Every difficult chapter you complete becomes proof that you are capable of more than you previously believed. In this way, struggle does not just shape who you are today, it prepares who you will become tomorrow. Even though struggle feels heavy while you are inside it, it is often shaping a version of you that is more grounded, more resilient, and more aware. It teaches you how to stand alone when necessary and how to stand firm when everything feels uncertain. It builds emotional endurance that cannot be taught in theory but only learned through experience. So when you are in the middle of struggle, it may feel like life is against you, but in reality, life is developing you. It is strengthening your inner foundation so that you do not collapse under future pressures. It is building a version of you that is not dependent on perfect conditions to function. It is creating a character that is stable, mature, and unshakable, even in uncertain times. Ladies and gentlemen, never give up on yourself, even when life feels unfair, because this is the moment where most people lose their direction, not because they are weak, but because pain convinces them that their story has ended. Life has a way of creating situations that do not follow logic. You can do everything right and still face failure. You can be kind and still get hurt. You can be honest and still be misunderstood. And in those moments, the mind starts questioning everything. It starts asking whether effort even matters, whether hope is real, or whether continuing forward is worth it. But this is exactly where your greatest decision is made. The decision not to abandon yourself. Giving up on yourself does not always happen in a dramatic way. It does not always look like quitting everything at once. Sometimes it happens quietly. It happens when you stop trying. It happens when you stop believing. It happens when you start accepting defeat as your identity, instead of seeing it as a temporary experience. And that is where life becomes dangerous. Not because of what is happening outside, but because of what is slowly breaking inside. When a person gives up on themselves internally, even if they continue living physically, they stop growing, stop dreaming, and stop moving toward anything meaningful. But you must understand something deeply. Unfair moments in life are not a reflection of your value. Life does not always reward effort immediately, and it does not always punish mistakes instantly. There are times when the world feels completely out of balance. People who do less seem to get more. People who hurt others seem to move ahead faster. And people who are doing their best feel stuck in one place. This creates a powerful illusion that fairness does not exist. But what you are seeing is only a small portion of a much larger picture. Life is not measured in isolated moments. It is measured across long journeys. And in those long journeys, persistence always reveals its meaning. When life feels unfair, the strongest temptation is to compare your situation with others. You begin to look at people around you and think they are progressing faster, living easier, or suffering less. But comparison is one of the most silent destroyers of confidence. It takes your focus away from your own path and places it on something you cannot control. Every person is fighting a battle that is not fully visible. Some battles are emotional, some are financial, some are mental, and some are deeply personal. What you see on the surface is never the full story. Never giving up on yourself means refusing to let temporary circumstances define your permanent identity. Right now, you might be in a phase where things are not working. You might feel stuck, confused, or even defeated. But your current situation is not your final destination. It is simply a chapter, not the entire book. And chapters are meant to change. They are meant to evolve. They are meant to move forward, even when they start in darkness. There is something powerful that happens when a person refuses to give up on themselves. Even in silence, even in struggle, even in uncertainty, they continue to move forward in small ways. They try again. They learn again. They rebuild again, and slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to change their trajectory. Progress is not always loud. Sometimes it is invisible in the beginning, but invisible progress is still progress. Every small effort you make when you feel like quitting becomes a brick in the foundation of your future strength. You must also understand that unfairness does not last forever in the same form. Life constantly shifts. Situations change. People change. Circumstances evolve. What feels like a permanent struggle today often becomes a turning point tomorrow. But that turning point only reveals itself to those who keep moving forward. If you stop completely, you never reach the moment where things begin to shift. Persistence is what connects pain to transformation. There will be days when your motivation disappears completely. There will be days when nothing feels meaningful and everything feels heavy. On those days, you do not need to be extraordinary. You only need to be consistent. Even the smallest action, even the smallest decision to continue, is a form of strength. Continuing does not always require confidence. Sometimes it only requires courage. Courage is what carries you forward when confidence is gone. And perhaps the most important truth is this: the version of you that exists after struggle is always stronger than the version that existed before it. Every time you refuse to give up on yourself, you are shaping a deeper version of your character. You are building resilience that cannot be created in comfort. You are developing emotional strength that cannot be learned from success alone. You are becoming someone who understands life not just through theory, but through experience. So when life feels unfair, do not rush to quit on yourself. Do not make permanent decisions based on temporary pain. Do not define your worth by a moment of difficulty. Instead, stay with yourself. Stand by yourself. Support yourself even when circumstances do not, because the relationship you have with yourself during your hardest moments determines everything that comes after. One day, you will look back at the period that felt unfair and realize it was not the end of your story. It was the part where your strength was being built quietly, where your patience was being shaped deeply, and where your future was being prepared in ways you could not see at the time. And in that realization, you will understand that not giving up on yourself was the decision that changed everything.